Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our January 2014 webinar on creating awesome content that sells 24/7. I'm here with Daniel Doherty, and how are you today, Daniel?
I'm pretty awesome, thank you, Edward.
Now, Daniel Doherty is basically the nuclear missile of my arsenal. He is an amazing web designer and also online marketer. So even though I have a very big tickets on myself when it comes to online marketing, I'm merely pale and insignificant compared to Daniel's prowess. Is that a fair comment there, Daniel?
Oh, look, I'm very modest.
Yeah, modest guy. He's even though he's a modest guy, I don't know if you've met Daniel Doherty or not. You're about, what, 6'4" or something, aren't you?
Keep going.
Yeah,
6'6".
Yeah, basically he's Dolph Lundgren designing websites. So don't mess now. He's a lovely guy. I'm just being silly with him. So welcome along. Look, you guys know me. That's me on the top left with good old Martha, who couldn't join us tonight. She's we've got Pandy Cat. We've got a new cat in the house now. That's me just running a seminar. Now, you're not here to learn about me tonight. We're here to learn about you, and we're here to teach you amazing marketing strategies and techniques. And you guys know me. I'm Edward Deere, the marketing mentor with Daniel. Now, what it is, it's going to be a bit of a radio show. So, Daniel, feel free to jump in at any time. Do you have any comments to say to the audience before I start machine gunning them with content?
Just feel free to ask some questions right at the end, or if you really need to stop us, I guess just stop us.
Great point. Yes, absolutely. So what it is please get your questions through in the chat boxes provided, and the webinar is being recorded. So anything you do say can and will be used against you in a court. No, sorry, I'm not working for ASIO anymore. No, basically what it is that the content is here. So if you miss anything, don't panic, and please send us questions. And, of course, we love being hired. So do you like being hired, Daniel?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we like money, so if you like what you hear, feel free to engage our services, and that's a sales pitch done. So during this webinar, please consider the following points. What are your business objectives? What is your preferred style of marketing? Because tonight we're going to be talking about content, online marketing, how to sell your business 24 hours a day. And it's different for everyone. It's not one size fits all. What do you think of that, Daniel?
Definitely, Ed. The stuff that we're going to show you tonight is really, you need a season to taste. So not everything's going to work for everybody, but on one of the slides we'll go through later, I'll be able to prove to you that you'll have something to say.
Absolutely. And here's the big thing, creating content. I mean, we've got Facebook, we've got Twitter, we've got LinkedIn, we've got all these social media channels. Social media is one thing, but having the right content to go out is a completely different issue, isn't it?
Completely.
Yeah, exactly. So have a think about it. Think of tonight as a smorgasbord. We're going to tell you everything. We're not saying you have to do it. We're just going to tell you everything, the good, bad, and the ugly, and you decide what fits you. And if you need a hand afterwards, just talk to us and we can help you through the process. And think about what are you going to do tomorrow. So, look, we're all for learning, and feel free to take as many notes as possible, but what I recommend is get that one idea from tonight's webinar that you're going to run in your business tomorrow. It is completely important, and we're just cutting to the chase here. We're not going to bore you with heaps of stuff, and we're just giving you the practical breakthroughs that give the success. Now, we're eating chocolate here to keep us buzzing. We're going to overwhelm you with heaps of information. Don't worry about it too much. Our goal is to really give you the base strategies, and if you need some help afterwards, feel free to learn it yourself, or we can help you as well. So we can help you implement these strategies, so as much or as little as you want from us. We've compressed years into hours here. So I've done over 20,000 consulting hours. I'm actually not far from working with my first 1,000 people, which is quite scary. And, yeah, it's been great. And what about you? How long have you been in this funny game, Daniel?
I hazard a guess it's probably been about 12 years.
Wow, so quite paltry to my 3 years. So Daniel's been in the game for a long time. So we know what we're doing, don't we, Daniel?
Yeah, I think we've got pretty much a good idea of what's going on.
And we're here to give those good ideas to you on the house for your maximum success. And I think that's because we're nice people, isn't it, Daniel? Do you think you're a nice person?
I think I am.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So mistakes and why we're here. We've all made big mistakes. If you've made heaps of big mistakes in your business, don't worry about it. Now's the time to forgive yourself and move on to bigger and brighter pastures. And before we get into the content, Rosie the Riveter from World War II, we can do it. Small business marketing, in my words, is making a business more awesome, helping more people find it, and selling more stuff. And we always say test and measure. As you do things in marketing and you do things with your sales strategy, if it works, do more of it. If it doesn't, cut it. Oh, do we keep cutting out? Just to let you know, if we keep cutting out, it could be Telstra, and it could be on either end of the connection. So if we are cutting out a little bit, sorry, there's not much we can do. We're pretty much open at Telstra. But if we do miss something important, feel free to send us a question. We can answer it that way. Ultimately, we are at the mercy of Telstra. So yeah, just okay. We'll keep moving on with it, but let us know. Feel free to let us know if any questions. But again, we are at the mercy of Telstra. The recording, however, is perfect. So when you get the recording, that's picture perfect because that's recorded locally on my PC. So now getting into it, Daniel Doherty from Merlin FX. Now Daniel Doherty, sitting right next to me, that's the lovely man on the left. He's our trusted friend and high-end website developer and marketer. And he says that he practices online wizardry. And what is online wizardry? It's basically the way Daniel runs his business. It's basically the magic he brings in. What do you think? How do you describe yourself, Daniel? Daniel, what kind of character are you?
Well, I think I'm fairly easygoing, humorous, but we like to make magic happen with your websites, your e-commerce, social media, content marketing, and etc. So, yeah, we've been doing it for a while, and we like to evolve and have some fun.
Very great heart of gold and very generous. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to tear through my bit very, very quickly. Daniel's just going to, just feel free to jump in anytime, Daniel. And then I really want to hand it over to Daniel. At the end of the day, this is more the Daniel Doherty show, so I really don't want to take too much of that time. Now, and I'm going to come at this, I'm going to play more marketing strategist, online marketer, and let Daniel come in and sort of take the cake with all the great stuff. Now here's a big thing. What is online marketing and how does it relate to your business? Now, the world has changed a lot, and I was very lucky to be in the marketing profession right from the start of the internet as to you and me sitting here right now. So pretty much the way it works is that the way that online marketing works is that online marketing is your second life. We all live our second lives, and if you just jump on a train to the city or just watch people, everyone is on their phones. They're on Facebook. What they actually say is social media and online is the second world that we live in. Now, the beauty of online marketing is online marketing can work for you 24 hours a day while you sleep. And to me, that's a power of it. So as small business owners and entrepreneurs, we might have a physical business of promoting ourselves by running around, going to networking events and that sort of thing. But we also have this powerful online side that we can really tap into, and that's really what we're going to be talking about tonight. Now, I'm just going to talk through some of my own personal marketing and some of the things that I've done. And I'm just going to talk it through. If you've got any questions, feel free to ask me afterwards. I can show you put together. And, of course, Daniel can. He does this for a living. I'm more of a mentor. Here's my Facebook page. Now, you notice that this is just a screenshot of my Facebook page. Now, on Facebook, I've got 2,445 likes, which is pretty cool. It's actually about 2,145 now, so it's improved quite a bit. Now, Facebook, the reason why I want to talk through Facebook very quickly is that from an online point of view, especially for a lot of businesses these days, Facebook is a very, very powerful means of engaging people. So Facebook, in a way, is basically an online community when you have your business page and your personal page. So what it is that feel free to go to my page if you haven't liked it already and have a look at it. You can see some of the content that I've done. And the reason why I brought it up is that I do a lot of blogging, which I'm going to talk about, which is basically writing online articles, and I actually distribute that through things like Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter and that sort of thing. So from a business perspective, I'm talking more of a business perspective here. Facebook is an amazing tool for building your own community that people follow, so you're constantly in their head. So the way I look at Facebook, it's a bit like a radio station that you have broadcasting 24 hours a day content to people. A little bit different though, there's a bit of give and take there. Now again, we're not here to talk about Facebook primarily, but think of Facebook as your online community, and it's a great way of sending out content. And you can start a page for free. What's your take on Facebook from a strategic level, Daniel?
Oh, look, I think the golden age of let's say Google advertising has changed. With it's very, very competitive, and I think with Facebook now being sort of still fairly new, I think we're in a pretty good position to take advantage of a lot of the newness, a lot of the new technology. This is all very new, and there are lots of ways around the technology.
Absolutely. And so again, we're not here to talk about Facebook. We're here to talk about content, but I just want to make sort of reference to Facebook. For me, Facebook has been amazing, and I'll be straight up with you. Facebook last year actually didn't work that well for me. Now, what I did was I basically embraced what Daniel said. Right before Christmas, I started an intense blogging strategy, which I'll tell you exactly how I've done it. And I have been signing up clients over the Christmas break, and people would follow my blog. They'd follow it for 20 days or even less than that, and they know I know what I'm talking about. And they would just contact me over Facebook for a chat, and then from there they would engage me. So Facebook, again, I just want to make this point. Facebook alone is actually useless. It's the content you put through there, which is what we're going to be talking about tonight, and hence Daniel's specialty, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, now just quickly walking through, I don't want to consume too much of Daniel's time. Here is my LinkedIn page. Now, Facebook isn't for everyone. LinkedIn isn't for everyone. I personally use both. I actually got specialised in LinkedIn at the start, but now I'm leaning more towards Facebook. But LinkedIn is another means of distributing material. Now, there is a program called Hootsuite, and Hootsuite, and Daniel knows better ones, but Hootsuite is a powerful program that if I do a blog post, or let's say even a comment, it can go out to my Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter account with one click. And isn't that powerful? I could just do one little article or a comment, and I could get hundreds of people seeing it within minutes at times. It's amazing, isn't it? What's your commentary on that sort of thing, Daniel?
I mean, I have Hootsuite. I'm not a big user of it. I prefer to use a tool called Buffer, and it's a plug-in for my browser. And I've got set times I promote product and information, and I can promote it across multiple, all the different social platforms. I've got a paid account, so I can do I think more than 15 accounts at any one time, and I just prefer it.
Exactly. And one thing before I move on, I want to sort of draw attention to on LinkedIn. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn if you haven't, and look at the actual wording that I've used. And notice how the actual wording, being a copywriter myself, you've got to have really good wording, really good powerful wording. This comes down to a lot of social media. A lot of people just play with social media. They actually don't use it and really prosper with it. And it comes down to the actual wording and copy that you use. So one thing that it is, and again, in our February webinar, we actually have Kat Tate, who's an online copywriter, and we're just talking just about copywriting, which is another conversation. But here's the thing I also want to pay attention to and get you thinking about. To teach yourself copywriting, look at sites that you like, look at the way things have been worded, and learn their style of writing. So I'll just read out some of my LinkedIn profile here. Edward Zier is a highly trained, experienced marketing mentor that loves helping small business owners, blah, 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 blah. Over the years, Edward has helped his clients make over 100 million plus and has consulted directly to many CEOs, blah, blah, blah. Now, it's very punchy, very much to the chase, and has worked very well for me. So be it your LinkedIn, your Facebook, always pay good attention to the content that you use. Now, here is Twitter coming up. I'm actually not a massive Twitter fan. I only use it a little bit, but the thing is, I still get value out of Twitter because I connect my Hootsuite, and in Daniel's case, Daniel uses a better program called Buffer, that automatically sends my content out. So if you notice here, there's a few things in my Twitter account. My articles are going out there. I'm benefiting from Twitter for no cost and spending almost no time on there. So this is the power of online marketing and the power of content. The trick is creating that compelling content. Now, here is a bit I want to spend a few minutes on before I just hand it over. If you go to my website and click in blog, I've been blogging every day, and it takes me about half an hour a day to blog. Now, you're going to sit there and say, Ed, what's going on here? You're writing a blog every day? That's crazy. Well, I've been making a lot of money out of it, and I've got several motives here, and this is one of the things I want to touch on. We'll go back a little bit. What is a blog? A blog is basically is online journalism. It's where people have a site, be it their own blog site or let's say their website, and they write articles every day on there or even once a week. Or most people who blog usually write an article a week, but power bloggers, they can actually do up to 3 times a day, but then blogging is their full-time job. I've committed to a 1-time-a-day schedule which I can sustain with the way I use technology. Even if you do one a week, it's great. Now, the reason why I'm putting these articles out there, based on a lot of small business owners, especially for consultants, and this applies equally for Daniel and myself, is by blogging, it does several things. Properly written blog articles on your website gets it indexed by Google, getting you more traffic. Great articles. If people are interested in hiring my services, they can read my articles and get free value. So before I've even spoken to them, they know what I'm on about. 3, I enjoy writing, and it's a great personal development activity. And 4, blogging has been at the end of the day, you can have Facebook and LinkedIn all you want, but you've got to have good content to put out there. So if I write a blog, I can use Hootsuite or Buffer to distribute that blog in just a few clicks to all my social media. So for example, these are a few articles. This is going back a little bit. I have at least, these days, I only started blogging about 35 days ago. It has totally revolutionized my business and take it to the next level because now I'm getting leads all the time, and it's been absolutely amazing. And the thing of online marketing, this is the whole 24/7 reference, is that when you got a blog and you put through Facebook, there's content online about you 24/7. So as you sleep, you're getting promoted. One thing I love about Hootsuite, and Buffett does this as well, is that I can do an article, click a button, and it'll automatically spit out my content throughout the day through social media. So I could be sleeping, or I was shopping this morning and I hit the gym. While I was at the gym, my software was distributing content and selling my course. What's your commentary on that one, Daniel?
Oh, look, it's being able to create content in your sleep and also to publish it in your sleep. I think that's the holy grail of publishing. Old school publishing, like magazines and TV and newspapers, you know, they've got deadlines. It has to go out on a certain time. You can publish your stuff whenever you want. No one's stopping you from doing it any time you want, and you can schedule it at any time. It's incredible.
Yeah, precisely. And the question is, why should, and this is a strategic question that I just want to really make the point of, why do you have content? Well, the thing is, and this is more of a strategic answer, not so much a technical answer, is how do you build relationships with people? What better way to build relationships with people than give them free content all the time, demonstrating your expertise and how powerful you are? So let's think about it. You know, there's heaps of web people, aren't there, Daniel? There's heaps of bloody business mentors and marketing mentor, you know, whackers like me around. Why should you hire me over them? You know, and taking away my ego, if I'm giving my clients more value and I'm demonstrating my expertise on a more regular basis and I'm giving people value, it's a massive competitive difference. And from a strategic point of view, that's where content comes in. Why do, let's say you go to Amazon, why they let you have a peek in the book? Well, you can get some free ideas from just peeking in a book for free, but then it gets you hooked and it gets you buying the book. What's your take on giving away content from a strategic money-making point of view, Daniel?
Well, taking that example from Amazon, I've got a Kindle and I've lost count of how many books that I've bought just from reading the excerpts. And giving away free content, I used to bottle everything up, and just a few years ago, met some people who just love to share their content. And what happens when you start to share content? You're sharing ideas, and ideas breed ideas. And you can, from one concept and listening from a webinar, you can revolutionize a process, get a new client, and just the speed to market. There's just so much the possibility that can happen from sharing content.
Excellent, and I really agree with that. I'm just putting I know you guys, a lot of you guys know my website anyway. Feel free to check out my website and check out my blog afterwards. You can actually see what I'm up to. So look, it's very important, and I promise you, these strategies done well can give everything. Now again, we don't have enough time to teach you how to do them all tonight, but if something does resonate with you, if there's this idea that you really like, drop us a line and we can talk to you about that, and we can sort of help walk you through the process. So yeah, blogging is one great strategy which I'm a huge fan on, and it's just an example of one of my blogs. This is me talking about one of my great friends who actually launched a physical book, and this blog posted really well. Now think about it. This is content I'm writing. That's content that's sitting on my website that can be read by my target market and help speed up people in making the right choice to hire my Persian marketing mentoring services. So, and there's just a little excerpt of my website. You guys would have seen it already. And it's great being a blogger and a marketer. Now, it is time to give an applause to Daniel Doherty. He's going to take the floor and get all your questions through, everyone. Daniel, yay, it's all yours. Go, Daniel.
Thanks very much, everyone. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you the methods that I use. I'm going to make it look like you've got a team of writers. I'm going to make it look like you've got like an unlimited tap with content that just flows. And I'm going to show you how to take most of the grunt work out and make that happen whilst you sleep. So one particular technique that I use is I create content in off time. So when I say off time, I really mean between time. So I don't want you to go and do this whilst you're relaxing. I'm suggesting that maybe whilst you're driving somewhere or waiting for someone before a meeting is just record something. So some people might think, well, that's illegal, you can't do that whilst you're driving. Well, I'd had to check that out, and we had a discussion with Ed about it. And I was speaking to Samuel Ladelfa from Samuel Jones Legal Services, and he advised me basically if the phone is mounted to the windscreen, the driver is unable to touch the screen, they may view it or use voice commands, and P-platers, no phones or device at all, zilch, zip, nil, nada. So that was some pretty good advice. I mean, you are driving along, you are talking on the phone, you're listening to the radio, you might have to touch a couple of buttons. But really, from like back last Easter, I went from my house to my dad's place. It was a 10-minute drive, and I created 5 pieces of content using this particular method. So what are you going to need to do this? Well, I just use my camera phone and point it in like the reverse camera option. Mount it to like a phone holder for the car. Like I've got a Gecko version. It cost me about $15 from a local garage. And just use like a default recording app. You can get some other really cool apps that link to your Dropbox, but we'll get to that in a second. And start thinking about what kind of things you're going to create content for, and I'm going to explain that in a bit in a sec. So, what are you going to say, and what are you going to publish? Now, it's okay to be a little bit quirky. This isn't Hollywood. Yes, that's my dog Merlin in the back, and I'm basically, the reason I started doing that is, yes, I love boxes, and yes, I love magic and making magic happen. So yes, I had to call my dog Merlin. And if I get another one, he's going to be called Emrys, which is the Druid name for Merlin. Anyway, I don't know why I had to share that with you, but I did. So it's not Hollywood, but just to give you an example, there's a lady by the name of Lauren Luke, and she's from the UK, and she's been applying makeup, from her bedroom. She's done a whole lot of videos, and over time she's had 129 million views. In some of the videos, you can actually hear a dog snoring on the bed in the background. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's content, and it can be recorded. So what are you going to record? So why don't you maybe look at your FAQs from your website and expand on that, record that. Why don't you send a survey out to your clients and ask them what their pain points are? So if you get back 4 or 5 or 6 ideas, that's 4 or 5, 6 pieces of content. If you get more, that's a whole year's worth of content. Create it all at once, schedule it, publish it, go on holidays, do something else. So also be inspired by real-time events and experiences. I've got a really great example coming up. Look, if you're not happy with uploading a video of yourself whilst you're driving, just extract the audio, upload the audio to SoundCloud. What we'll be doing is uploading a video of yourself to YouTube. You embed that into your website. But more importantly, what we're going to do is we're going to take your video recordings, we're going to make some pretty cool sort of magic happen, and using the default apps on your phone, like I'm just going to use the iPhone for now, and no other references about iPhone, Ed, please.
Yeah. Apple shit.
Great, thank you for lowering the content there.
Awesome.
Anyway, so with on Apple, there's things like there's an application called Rev, and that talks to your online account. And there's one called iTalk, which talks directly to Dropbox. So make a recording and store it in Dropbox. What I'm actually talking about is uploading your content to a transcription service. And these services are very, very cheap. It can be from $1 a minute. That might take a week to do for, say, SpeechPad, or Rev is like within 48 hours. So, I mean, I use Rev, and it's, I've uploaded things just before I go to bed, and that's preference to do it that way. And in the morning, my content's ready to publish on my website. So I'll have the blog up there, or the webinar, or the audio, and I've got the title happening, and the transcript is below it. Now, humans aren't going to read 5,000 words, but Google does. Also, Google can't index the video, but it indexes the transcription, and with YouTube you can actually upload a transcription to your video, which also provides captions for people who might be deaf. So you're really covering everyone. I originally started with SpeechPad. I think that's a good starting point to go with, but both work well. And people often think, well, okay, well, what am I going to talk about? I've got all these ideas. One thing that I'd use is, I use several tools. I use a tool called Wunderlist. Now, Wunderlist is pretty awesome. It's a free version. There's a free version available, and you can really start to focus, ideas on your business, your industry, and products. But you can start to store ideas. Like I store ideas about web development and e-commerce and email marketing and social media and branding and cloud services and client experiences. The list goes on. My brain is constantly exploding. We'll answer that in a second.
Yeah, we've got your question, Mark Finch. We'll answer that in a moment, and keep your questions coming through, everyone, but got you there, Mark.
Yeah. So with that, you're also using mobile technology, so you can be anywhere, you have an idea, you punch it into Wunderlist, and it's stored on your online account. The other cool thing you can start to do that is manage the process, is get a VA or get your staff to put those ideas into like a process to start publishing your content. So I use a program called Asana to do that, another free option. And both options you can share with different people. You can collaborate ideas. That's a brilliant option with these tools. Now with Asana, like for example, I'll even use my VA, the wonderful Lauren Watts from Ms. Virtual Assistant, and I'll record my ideas straight into iTalk, upload it to Dropbox. She then goes and gets all those ideas and converts them and puts them into Wunderlist, and then from Wunderlist I then go and put them into tasks and automate the entire process for her to manage my content. So even after tonight, there's going to be a whole bunch of things that are going to happen, and I'm not doing a single thing about it. It's all going to happen automatically. So that's pretty impressive. So just quickly jumping over Asana, but answering Mark's question, approximately how many words per post in your experience? I'd say if you're going to do a webinar or an audio or something like that, the number of words is going to depend on how many minutes you talk. That's okay, but if you're actually going to write something, I think between 300, 500 words, Ed, that's about right.
Absolutely, and just give me some commentary on that one. I usually aim for about anything from 300 to 500 words on my blogging. Now, sometimes I do blogs of 12 to 1,500. I actually don't have to. A bit of personal interest is kicking in there. So if I was just going to do it more commercially, 300 to 500 is fine, but every now and then, if I'm into a topic and I'm personally enjoying it too, I'll go extra, and that's more for my enjoyment as much as it is in doing the content. But I think definitely Daniel's on the main. 300 to 500 is sort of what I generally aim for in my blogging, and you can do that in half an hour when you get good at it.
Yeah. And just a question from Sebastian. Don't worry, Sebastian, if we're going too fast, we'll try and slow it down. You will get a recording of this in Picture Perfect, plus some bonus material of tips that are not included here.
And keep your questions coming through, everyone. Awesome.
So one thing, we've really sort of rushed over recording content and getting it transcribed and getting it uploaded and getting it checked and using some great tools for recording your ideas and using things like Asana to manage the process. And that's all wonderful because they're free as well. But there's an art that's still alive today called, it's basically storytelling. So yeah, modern storytelling is still well and alive. It's easy for us to publish now. Stories hit us at a very primal and emotional level, and technology has never been more advanced to help us create, engage, participate, consume at any time across multiple channels on multiple devices 24/7. So everyone has a story to tell, whether it's about their brand, their vision, their purpose, their evolution. Write about a real world experience from your perspective as a business owner and entrepreneur, and see how you can make that work in a real world example. So, for example, a lot of my friends know that I love food, and I like to cook and do a whole bunch of other things, and I've got a Facebook page called Liverpool Bites, and I do things like Taste of Liverpool tours and all sorts of different things like that. But I was down with my girlfriend down at Berry, New South Wales, past Wollongong, and I felt compelled to write about my day's experience. Now, normally I wouldn't care, but I had an amazingly bad customer service experience and 2 really amazing customer service experiences in the period of the same day. So what I did was, I thought, well, I actually took a leaf out of Ed's book about writing real-life experiences. We had a chat about it, and we thought how we could make it work. And it just dawned on me that I need to do that. So I did it. And to my surprise and wonderment, I wrote about it. I shared it to the people that I was talking about. So I didn't share it with the person that I was talking about that gave me the bad experience. That's probably not really nice to do that. But I made it known in the blog who the awesome people were. Little Fork in Berry, amazing customer service, amazing food, and an amazing engagement between the owners and their customers. So I posted it, and then I shared it, and then something really cool happened. They shared it, and then within about the first week, I had about 50 people like the page, and now my content is everywhere. And I've made some other people happy, and they're going to be happy to see me, and there's going to be more recognition when I go down and see them. And clearly, I love chocolate truffle cake. Anyway.
And if I may just jump in supporting Daniel's great move, and I'll come at more from the marketing, the Persian money making angle, is that so Daniel had this experience. He wrote up a blog post that he personally enjoyed. He is in the marketing area, and as he told his story, he would have had at least 100 views minimum of this article. So he's written one article, and at least 100 people have read it to now. And you've got to remember, this article is available on the internet forever for people to read over and over again. And what it does is, in that small amount of time, instead of Daniel talking to 100 people, his one article has touched people. And this comes into the power of leverage. And this is the thing about online content. And what I've proven to myself financially in only the last 35, 45 days is that content gives you leverage, because there's only one of you. You can only run around so much. And to me, when you take this approach, it's quite amazing. And think about how to apply it to you. Now I want to pick on a few people who've asked questions. Sebastian Winter is a photographer. You do a photography blog. Mark Finch is a David Carradine martial arts guy who's a mindset guy. You can do one about mind, body, soul. Paul Sheaf, you can do one about videography and so forth. You write about your own areas, because that content that you write about your own area stimulates it. Now, Daniel Doherty is a massive connoisseur, and he's an online marketer. So what better to talk about, client experiences? So, yeah, I think you did really well there, Daniel. So well done.
Thank you. And you need to be yourself with these. It doesn't have to be a boring news article. It needs to be a story. So I'm painting the picture. I'm a 6'6" guy. I was wearing shorts. My signature bright blue, I call them Merlin blue sneakers, and an Xbox cap. It looks like a guy who's been dragged around Berry, uninterested by his girlfriend all day. Completely wrong. Super interested in the product, love the product, and these people engage with me like I was a person. They treated me wonderfully, and I can't wait to go back. And I wrote about it. And then I took that experience in how, with my clients, how are they creating a magical client experience on their website? Do they have options for people to download things? How are they engaging with their clients, etc.? So the article's on the website, and hopefully more people read it and those likes go up. Yeah, look, I think so. I think if you're naturally humorous...
Just to jump in, that was a question from Mark Finch.
Sorry, yeah.
Just about whether we should use humorous, quirky let me rephrase it. It's a question from Mark on basically how do we use humour and quirky references to get people to read our posts?
Well, I think don't just try and go in there and put a joke in. It's got to be natural and it's got to flow. And you're going to realise that by the way you engage with people from day to day. If you can make people laugh when you're engaging at a network function or with family or whatever, well then make that shine. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think just sort of jumping on that one as well, Mark, it's, to me, when it comes to content, you got to make it compelling. Now, a lot of people and I'm a massive fan of a reporter from America by the name of Chris Hansen. Now, Chris Hansen, Daniel's laughing, Chris Hansen is basically the American Darren Hinch. I'm a fan of Darren Hinch too, and Chris Hansen has done all these shows like To Catch a Predator, where they bunch guys on the internet doing naughty stuff. He's caught bike thieves and everything, and he's recorded them on national TV. And one thing that got me about Chris Hansen is that Chris Hansen, he's quite a quirky character, but he also makes things very compelling. Like, so, for example, and this is one of the references, basically he was talking about people driving at night, and this is the way Chris Hansen would word it. He would basically say, in the dark of night, on a long, windy country road, people are driving. Like, it's very emotive, very sort of expressive. So you got to, if anything, when it comes to content, you're actually a journalist. Like, you're not, okay, yeah, you're doing it on the internet, but whether it's a newspaper or a blog, you're a journalist. It's about you writing compelling content, be it just a quote you're putting it on your Facebook page, or be it you're writing an article to really develop compelling information. What's your take on that whole compelling journalism side, Daniel?
Well, taking that question and the question that Kelly's asked about, is there a point where it becomes too personal, things you shouldn't talk about? Well, definitely. Just the things you wouldn't talk about in real life to your friends or family. Well, there probably is. But if you're going to just walk up to a stranger and talk about your marriage problems, does that really gel? Does that really go with your gut feeling? And yes, that's something that I might not usually talk about and get personal about, but intuition and gut feeling, just go with the first thing that comes to mind. Don't do it. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it.
Yeah, exactly. And what I do suggest to people is be careful. And one little thing is don't ever slam, like if you're going to speak negatively of someone, Daniel did it well, you don't mention them. So my view is if you're praising someone, name them. But if you're slamming someone, don't name them. So that's how you get sued. So you don't wind up a Darren Hinch, going in and out of jail getting a liver transplant. We don't want you to do that. Yeah. Yeah. So I hope get your questions through, everyone.
Now, another example of what you can do is, for example, for people to create content is get someone to interview you. Maybe you get a colleague or a supplier even, get someone like a member of your local chamber or networking group. And remember, this is content for you and it's content for them. Embed the video to YouTube, embed the video link to your blog posts so they can watch it live. Add the transcriptions that you've got from SpeechPad or rev.com so Google can index it, upload it to YouTube so it's going to become captions as well, and share the hell out of it. So this one was like me being interviewed by my designer, my colleague and friend Tamlin from Tamlin Creative for her Creative in a Minute series, and she interviews different business people, much like what Ed does here. So it's great content. I get to talk about what I love. It cost me about $13 to get it transcribed. Got it done pretty much in 2 days, and it's getting shared. I love it. Another example is this one. There was no video. I was being interviewed by a business group, and they were putting a CD together for their other, the members, and it went for quite some time. Roughly about 30 minutes, and it cost $27 to do, but there's loads of content there. There's about almost 5,000 words are going to get indexed by Google. I understand no one's going to read that, but I don't care. All I care about is Google is going to index it. So when you're talking, also try and put in a few keywords about what you're talking about. So if you're going to talk about cloud services, make sure you mention cloud services and some cloud service examples.
So just to interrupt, because I'm going to get this recording transcribed, small business marketing, marketing mentor, marketing strategy, small business ideas, and I think Google is a great platform. Do you think Google will like that?
I think they will, but your earlier comment about the iPhones and Apple, I'm going to delete those.
Oh, okay, cool. So I actually think in following Daniel's inspiration, I should get this webinar transcribed, shouldn't I?
You could, or I will just give you a copy.
That sounds good, but we can't have duplicate content, can't we, Daniel?
That's correct.
Which means I'm not going to post it, but Daniel's going to post it. We look forward to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And just on that point, actually, and may I just say that word of caution, I've had a few clients get into trouble there. When it comes to content, Google does not like duplicate content. So if you've, let's say, got an article or some content, you don't want to post it all over the internet, because if you have duplicate content, Google thinks you're having a go with them and actually penalises you SEO-wise. So it's good that I've had that. Because I know Daniel's going to post a transcription, I'm not going to do it, because if I do it, it's going to hurt us both. Is that a fair comment, Daniel?
It is. Now, it might work if you're putting it behind a password or gated website, where Google is not going to index it at all.
Which I wouldn't, because I was going to put it publicly, because I know Daniel's going to do it, I'll stay out of it. So always good to be aware of those sort of things.
Absolutely. And we've pretty much gone over the example of, this webinar. So this is a webinar, my first webinar that I did with Ed. It got recorded. So you can partner up with someone and share the content, embed the webinar that you give, get it transcribed, publish and share it. So we're sort of coming to the end of this. So what I'd like to do is mention two things. I'm going to send everyone that's registered for this webinar all my sort of bonus material. Usually what happens when I create content for a webinar is I write a bunch of stuff, and then I just cull it because there's just too much to put in here. So I'll be getting my VA, Lauren, to put something together for you, and I'll try and get that to you by the end of the week or early next week. But the other thing I really, really want you to try and do is use some of the techniques that I've mentioned here today. Get out those iPhones, get out your Samsungs, record some video, and upload it to rev.com or SpeechPad, and publish it on your website, embed the video, get the transcription on the website. I really want to see this happening. And then shoot me a link for your website and the content, and I will include that at the bottom of my post and link it to your website. I think that sounds pretty cool. I don't think anyone's actually done that before for anyone in this sort of context. So we always like to push the boundaries on possibility. Okay, there's a question here. Did you mention that there is an app or a program that you talk to it and it transcribes it to text? There is an app that does that. It's called Dragon Naturally Speaking, but I hear that's fairly expensive, and I prefer to just use a transcription service. So then I can just tidy it up later.
What's your favourite transcription service, Daniel?
At the moment, I use rev.com.
So we just go to rev.com and check it out?
Yep.
Wow, there you go. That was on the house too, so check out that one, guys. And we've got a question from Debbie Small as well. Debbie Small's asking a question about slightly changing content across different social accounts. What's your take on the duplicate content issue and tweaking it, Daniel? How does that side of things work from a Google SEO protection perspective?
Look, I think Google's going to know that you're sharing, but definitely I think even when you're optimizing your web page, and you've got some metadata in there as well, try and change the meta information as well. If you don't know what that is, just ask that question. And so the title can be different to the meta title, the description to be different to your open paragraph. But definitely, I mean, I'm a big advocate of not posting to Twitter and making it happen on Facebook. Facebook hate that. Facebook hate automated content. Post it a few times. If you are going to automate it, maybe automate it from your blog to your Facebook, but still post it manually a couple of times during the day, because the way Facebook works and the way people like so many pages and follow so many people, they might not see your content. It's okay to post it a couple of times, and definitely a good idea to change it up a bit. There are some programs out there that you can actually automatically have hashtags that go for Twitter, and don't do hashtags for Facebook.
Exactly. So I think that's very, very good advice. And do you like how everyone saw me change the screen very quickly? I pressed the wrong button on my keyboard. It's a Windows 8.1 issue. So, yeah, so I think that's very, very, very good, and we've got a few great offers there. And, look, we've basically come to the end of the webinar. So, look, get your questions through. If you've got any more questions, we'd love to answer them now. And I just want to say, Daniel Doherty, Lucinda, which is Daniel's pet dragon, and myself, give you a massive thank you for joining time tonight. And of course, if you want 30 minutes on the house to answer any questions, now's your time to get them through. And our email addresses are right there, so feel free to email Daniel directly or myself. And look, you know, Daniel's an amazing online marketer. If you need a beautiful website, you need help with your social media, whatever, speak to Daniel. He can help you. If you need to be irritated by a Persian marketing mentor that help you make more money, then come talk to me. You know, I can really help out there too. So, hey, look, please get your questions through now, and we're going to start answering them.
Yeah, just one quick thing. People probably think, what's a dragon doing on my brand and my logo? You know, that evolved, and you can read about that story. There's a whole story about the evolution, how it came about, and all the people that got involved in creating the brand. And Lucinda was the name that Edward and I came up. You know, Lucinda is in ER with Burning Cinders, and she's head of recycling in the company. She just burns everything.
Yeah. So it's one of the few staff members that we actually like burning stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
And look, we're just going to go through the questions now. A great one from Callie. Do you think different social media should have a different feel and style? Absolutely. Facebook has its own culture, which is sort of quirky and fun, and LinkedIn is quite more professional. So when it comes down, it depends on what you're doing. And with Daniel's opinion on this one, my view is that LinkedIn, you want to keep things more professional. Facebook, obviously more fun, but the trick is that if you're, let's say, doing blogs that go to both LinkedIn and Facebook, write them with both platforms in mind so you get the resonation. What's your take on that matter, Daniel?
I agree with 100% with that. Again, and with Twitter, that's a middle of the ground. You can be super serious or you can have fun with it. But Twitter's just a completely different, you've got 140 characters to get a message across. So it can end up in a long stream of very long conversation or short conversations. But fun and factual on Facebook, factual on LinkedIn, and just mix it up on Twitter. But if you've got some, when you are posting content, make sure you've got a video in there or a great image, and post that image to Pinterest as well.
Wow, great question. Now, we had a great one from Paul Sheaf, and what Paul Sheaf is talking about are PDFs. Now, we all know what PDFs are, and he's talking about PDFs not being crawled on Google. And that's actually a fair point. I've got quite a few PDFs too. These days, from my, maybe Daniel should speak on this one, but I don't think PDFs are really that read on Google. You need fresh content in HTML form. How does that side of things work, Daniel? You probably know better than me.
Look, I know Google, I've found documents on Google looking for stuff and they happen to be PDFs. But again, PDFs can be saved as an image and it's not actually, got the PDF. The PDF can't be properly indexed anyway. Google can do it. The same like Flash. Flash is really hard to index. So just try and make Google's job really, really simple. So you could actually, depending on how big the articles are, send them off to Fiverr.com. That's FIVERR.com. Somewhere in the world for $5 is going to convert all those, PDFs to a text, just to a text file or a Word document.
Wow, and a very good one. And Daniel's actually got a few requests for a free 30-minute session coming in. So well done, Daniel. What I'm doing I'm just putting in Daniel's email address. It is in the comment in the PDFs. It is in the PowerPoint slide as well, and I was putting it through in the comments. So if you're interested in a free 30 minutes with Daniel, I'm putting the email address now. Just send him an email and he can reply back to you and sort it out. Do you just want to answer those questions while I'm putting this in?
Sure. So, yeah, I have the original Word doc, so don't need to convert. Okay. How many documents do you have? 30 plus. If you don't want to do it all, like post them all, and I'm sure your website has got the option to schedule. Most websites do, or you can. You can go and publish them yourselves or get a VA to do it. I use Lauren Watts from Ms. Virtual Assistant and get them to go and do it for you or your staff. Doing 30, it's probably going to take you, if you're really a bit of a master and ninja on the keyboard like Ed and myself, it'd probably take about, I don't know, probably an hour.
Yeah, exactly. And Paul is saying here as well, I thought I can just drag the content into a blog. That's another strategy too. If you've got, let's say, a lot of PDFs or Word documents, you can actually recreate them as blog articles. Now, one thing I do say to that, and I've actually had this question a lot, is when it comes to writing articles, you got to be very careful when you just copy and paste, because if you, let's say, have a line that doesn't make sense in your blog and people read that, people know you've just hacked your blog together and you haven't put much respect into it. So be very all for it. Like, if you've got great content, make sure you read your content. Now, a few grammar and spelling mistakes don't matter, but if you have something that's completely out of place, it's not going to wash on a blog and not do well for you. What's your take on that one, Daniel?
Yeah, definitely do that. Yeah, like I've seen too many times when clients send me information, they send me their newsletter, which is printed, but makes no sense when you put it online. And sometimes they even do the reverse. They'll take, please click here to get blah. That doesn't work on print. Well, not yet. And if you look up Rico are doing something cool to potentially replace QR codes. But until that actually happens, Ed's right. Read the content, but there's something other really cool that you can use PDFs for. For example, if you've got a special kit or a guide of some kind or an ebook, definitely. But you would use that in conjunction with the lead generation form on your website. And that would be a link in an email that they click to go and grab that. That's how I would do it.
Exactly. So, look, that's the end of our questions. And I was going to say, there's Daniel's email address in the comments. Feel free to email Daniel anytime, or myself if we can help. And, of course, you need websites or social media, talk to Daniel. You need the marketing strategy advice, have a chat to me. And thank you for the guys who've been on the line live. If you're watching this on YouTube later on as a post-recording, thanks for taking time to watch it. Check out the comments below and feel free to visit us. I'm signing out. Daniel, any goodbye comments from you?
Not at this stage, but please go and create some content for me. I'd love to publish it. I'd love to see it. If you get stuck, drop me a line. And the lady that requested, Debbie Small, wanted a 30-minute free session. No problem. Happy to give that to you.
Pleasure. Thank you, guys. Signing out from Edwards here. Goodbye, everyone.
Good night, everyone.